I've been living in Germany for a whole complete year, and in this video I will share my complete experience. I will talk about my accommodation, how I managed my first month where we have to do lots and lots of documentation, how I managed my jobs, and how I managed everything here, and you will get an idea about what you are going to expect and how usually the life here is for the first year, especially for the international students. So let's get started. I will divide this video into 3 different parts. In the first part, I am just going to talk about the very first experience, the visa, the arrival, the post-arrival situation, block account, same etc., and those things. And then I will talk about university life, which is the core purpose for us living here. And then in the third part, I will talk about job situation, how I got my job, how I struggled, how am I managing my expenses and everything. So stay tuned, watch the whole video, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you like it. So I came here in Germany in May 2024 as master's student, and I'm studying linguistics in Goethe University Frankfurt. And I want to divide this video into 3 parts. The first one is my initial experiences, the visa, my arrival, my first month, which is very important. And the second part would be about the general life here, accommodation, university life and everything. And at the end I will talk about jobs, how I got jobs, how I didn't got job, where I struggled most, and whatever is my story is mostly the story of everyone around me and probably would be almost similar for you too. So let's talk about my visa process first. I was working in Qatar, so I shifted from there to Germany. So my whole process was a bit different if you're coming from Pakistan or India or from another country. And in Middle East, the process was quite straightforward. It just took me 20-30 days. There was no appointment situation back then, and there was no issue at all. And everything went very smoothly. That's not an issue. The real problem which I faced in the very first month, even before coming to Germany, was getting an accommodation. So I saw a bunch of YouTube videos, contacted the people that I knew. Everybody told me to look for the WG gesucht or look for the student accommodation. Student accommodation here is very, overflowed, and it's not easy to get it. And also in Frankfurt, because I was 30 plus, I could not get student accommodation. So it was a very hectic thing for me, and I could not find any good place in the beginning. And here I want to give tip that even if somebody asks you that you can live somewhere and we will give you the city registration of another place, it is an illegal thing, and being a newcomer, you should avoid it at any cost. You should avoid it even if you are not a newcomer or even if you are living here. But specifically when you are new to the place, you don't know who is gonna scam you. Because I have heard so many stories where people have bought city registrations from others and then they were blackmailed. So do not do this. Even if you have to sacrifice a bit of your comfort and you have to live a bit further away in another city, or maybe another place away from your university, that could work, but do not go for the shortcut. Anyways, I came to Germany without having a proper accommodation, but luckily on my second day, I was staying here with a family. Second day I found a very good accommodation inside Frankfurt for 500 euros. It's a studio apartment. I will definitely make a video about that, and I have other videos on my channel about student accommodation. You guys can check them out. They are similar to my apartment. And I was super relieved, because when you have a good accommodation, then it's like 50% of your problems are solved. At least you can have a place to cry and you don't have to stay with someone. So that was very good. The person that I'm living with, the landlord, basically, I live in his building, and he is super nice. His whole family is super nice. They invited me to dinner, and he also picked my luggage from my old place, and he helped me with so many things in the beginning. So it's being very good experience with them, and I think that this made my whole story of Germany a bit easier. Next, let's talk about the first month experience. So I was used to of Hamad International Airport of Qatar, which is I think one of the best airports, and it had gotten so many awards. I reached Frankfurt and the whole airport, it felt like third world country. And the management, everything, the trolleys are paid, and there are so many terminals, and you don't know where to go and how to go if you're a newcomer. For me, it was a bit shocking. And I came here in May, and in May, Qatar, we were having severe summer weather. When I came out of the airport, it was shivering cold for me. It was raining and it was so bad. People told me that they had a thunderstorm last night and it's a bad weather. For me, it was a huge shock that what should I do? I had all my luggage packed and I was in a t-shirt. So that was a bit of a bummer for me, but it was manageable because I had bigger fish to fry at that time. And when I got my accommodation, my landlord gave me the certificate that I am a resident at this place, and he has given me this. I signed contract with him and I gave him the down payment plus my first month rent. And then I took that to the citizen's office here. I don't know if it's called citizen office or it's registration office. It's Burga Amt or something like that, where you have to go and get yourself registered as a resident of that city. Every city has that office. There are 2 to 3 different methods. I think either you can do walk-ins or either you have to take an appointment. So I went on a walk-in day. It was a huge line there because Frankfurt is a big city. But anyways, it took me like 6-7 hours and I got registered there very easily. On the very same day, I opened my Commerce Bank account. It was just across the main office of that citizen's office, and it was easier for me. They asked me to fill up a form online and everything was super quick and smooth. As far as the SIM is concerned, I was using Fintaba Plus package. So they sent me SIM before I reached here in Germany. Although I could not activate it very quickly because I did not know a single word of German, and it was getting very hectic for me to translate everything. And I went to O2 office. It's a company here, and I booked a 2 years contract with them because I knew either way I'm gonna stay here, and it was getting cheaper and I was getting a good deal. So I'm paying around 15 euros for around 30 GB a month. And then everything was done. I also got my tax ID in 2 to 3 days, and my bank account was opened. I started getting my blog account, and now it's the time of the university. Definitely I went to university on the very first day because I joined in the semester and it was very difficult for me. So I went to the university, and this is a whole another long video about university, how I tackle everything, but I'm just gonna give you guys a glimpse. Universities here in Germany, they are not like universities in Middle East or in Pakistan. The biggest shock to me in the university was nobody cared who am I. I was joining in between the semester. I went inside the classrooms and nobody knew who was I. Nobody asked who you are. Everybody seemed like nobody's interested in no one. They came, they sat, they listened, they did the knocking at the end of the seminar or the class, and everybody left away. I went to the second class and nobody from the first class was there. Everybody was new. Same in the third seminar and fourth. Then I went to my head of department and I introduced myself. She was very kind and I showed my concern, and she just noticed that I am not feeling that comfortable. Then she explained to me few things that helped me, that not all the students in your class are from same discipline. So it was a huge, for me it's a huge thing. Like, you must build connections and you must know people. Anyways, I made friends in a month or 2 months, and there were 2-3 people, specifically one Iranian and one Moroccan. They helped me a lot in settling because they came earlier and they showed me which courses I missed and what homeworks they are doing and everything. So it was good overall. But generally the impression was not good, that people here, they would just come to the class and then they would just go. Because people here also work, all the students mostly they work. they travel from far away places, and they are many international students, and it's a huge diversity. So all in all, this completely makes a huge khichdi. It's an Urdu word which means mixing of so many things together. And as far as the studies were concerned, they were not that bad. The professors are and they were very nice. If you ask them a question, they would take as much time and energy as you deserve to be explained. And even if I asked someone that I want to have a personal meeting or a personal office hours, they were very kind to do that. And if I was missing the buses or something, they were kind enough to offer me online consultation. They were very good, and they're still very nice. But considering as a newcomer, it was a bit of a jerk that you are in a new place. You will not feel familiar. Everything will feel a bit different, bit overwhelming. So be prepared for that. And it also depends on where you are going. If you are going into a Hochschule, things may be different. If you are coming to a university, which is more theoretical basis, then the things may be a bit different also. I want to add here something about university that many people don't know, that universities have so many opportunities, so many options for international students. And the first opportunity that I got, and I got very lucky, was the Deutschland Stipendium, which is 300 euros per month scholarship. I got it last year, and luckily I got it this year again. I will make another complete video about it, how you can get that too. So keep an eye on the scholarship opportunities that your university is offering for local students, for international students, and make sure that you at least apply on each one of them, even if you get rejection. The second thing I want to mention about my experience, that in our university they were not offering any German classes for international students. So me and my few friends, they went to international student office and asked them like why we are not being offered. Many universities are being offering and everything, and eventually they started offering German classes, which I took. I did A1, A2 and B1 with them free of cost. The teachers were very good, and I did not have to pay any money, although we didn't get credit points, but there are certain universities which do give credit points, so keep an eye on that. And then there are certain volunteering opportunities. There are certain workshops that you must not miss, specifically if it's related to jobs, if it's related to improving your CV, or any skill that can help you in improving your chances of getting better jobs here in Germany. So I took 3 to 4 different courses related to CV also, although I was already an expert, but I learned a lot of things here specifically for German market. I took a 2 weeks long course online. It was Design Your Life. It was so it was so mind-blowing course which would set you on the right track. It showed me like what choices I'm actually making and how I could put my things in the right direction. And then I did some volunteering as well. I volunteered with, there is a buddy program in my university where you are assigned a new student, international student who is coming to your university, and you basically help them with by meeting them or by telling them like where to go and what to do, giving them university tour and having a breakfast with them or something like that. But it's a huge opportunity because you get a certificate with it, and Germans love volunteering a lot, and that can help you in a longer run. So now let's talk about the job situation, and I will be brutally honest about each and everything. I have seen bunch of videos. I see people talking on WhatsApp groups, on Facebook, everywhere about job situation in Germany. Everybody knows jobs are not easy to get wherever you are, regardless of the place and regardless of who you are. Getting a job is not an easy thing. However, I am sharing my personal experience here. So after the first month in Germany, because in the initial month you get busy in getting yourself registered, opening the bank account, getting a SIM, getting a place to live, getting used to each and everything, Deutsche Bahn and bus routes and so many bunch of things. So I started looking for a job, and believe me, it was not easy. And I wanted to work wherever I can because I wanted to support myself as everyone. So I started looking for work student jobs, for odd jobs in McDonald's, Burger King, even in Flink and everywhere. So to my luck, in the very first week I got a job in McDonald's, and I did not want to let go of that opportunity and wait for a work student job, so I joined it. What happened in McDonald's? It was not the best job, because I had professional experience before working as a teacher in Qatar for 5 long years, and I had professional degrees. However, as I was new here in Germany, I learned a lot there. I learned my first German sentences, my first German words there, because I did not know any German at all. And I learned how actually the society works outside. I got to make new friends, and the best thing that happened is that initially, after the first few weeks, when you get settled, you have plenty of time if you don't have a job, which becomes very, very depressing. So that was a huge plus for me, that I got a job. Then I got busy, I started getting salary per month, and I started paying my insurances, my rente is the social contribution that you pay, which actually then later on counts towards your permanent residency and eventually towards nationality. So it was a huge plus sign for me. However, there were certain setbacks in McDonald's as well. I would not recommend you to join odd jobs if you can get work student jobs, because there you get actual experience where you would be heading towards. Because in McDonald's there were people who were doing Ausbildung. If you don't know, Ausbildung is a kind of technical courses here, which people do right after their basic schooling. Like they complete their 13 years of education and they do the Ausbildung. So they don't have any experience of university, of education, of research education. And then there were people who were on a holiday working visa, people from Kazakhstan, people from Albania, who would come there for just 2 months, and they would not speak even German or not even English. So it was very, very tough to deal with those people. Regardless, I worked there for 1.5 months, and eventually, thanks to my luck and thanks to my hard work, or maybe I don't know, prayers, I got work student job. I got 3 to 4 interviews in very good companies, and I landed all of those jobs, and I eventually decided to join Siemens Healthineers. So I am right now working with them for more than a year now. How I got the working student position is that I did not quit looking for the jobs. I see people here, when they get a normal job in McDonald's, in Woolworth, in Flink, or wherever they can, in Amazon maybe, then they stop looking for these positions, and then that's where they lose, because competition is very high. You are not only competing with international students, you are actually competing with the locals as well. So you need to be extra efficient, you need to be approachable, and you need to consistently keep on trying. So that's what I did. I improved my CV. Every day I sat down for an hour or two and looked for jobs, asked people around me, and kept on applying. I faced huge amount of rejection. I understand it could be very overwhelming, and you should be very, very clear about this thing. When you would come here, be open about this thing, that you would face 99% of the time rejections, but that doesn't count. You just need 1% selection email or selection option. So as far as accommodation is concerned, sorry, this place is gone. Job, sorry, Lida, we cannot hire you, we have gone with another person, and so on. So you have to be ready for this. Anyways, it's not difficult to get a work student job, but I want to share my working experience in a company. If you are a working student, definitely you won't be tackling bigger projects, you won't be having a lot of burden on your shoulder, you won't be made responsible for many things, but then the tasks that will be assigned to you, you will definitely be responsible for them. You will learn a lot, you will meet lots of people, your CV will be bright, you can share it on LinkedIn, tell everybody that now you're working there. And I didn't tell anybody that I was working in McDonald's. I told everybody just that I started working in Siemens. So there you can tell everyone, it's a good experience. But there are certain things to watch for. For example, I know people who joined very small companies when they have a new project. So when you are joining a company, be sure that they have long-term projects. Like I'm working with Siemens, they have definitely evergreen projects throughout the world, so they cannot fire the working students very quickly. But I have seen people where they got hired on a working student position, and after 4 months or 6 months, when the project was closed, they were let go. And working students, they are the easiest people in a company to let go, because they do not count as heads there. So if company has 20 people, so they have 20 employers. If they have 20 employers and 5 working students, they still have 20 employers. So they are not answerable to government, to social institutions here, that they are hiring or firing working students or not. I'm not sure about all companies, but that's how it is in my company. And if you have both 2 or 3 options, so it's better to look for a company where you can at least stay for a year, so that you get better experience, you get your roots in, you make connections, and eventually shift to a full-time job. Anyways, I think that's enough for this video. I have talked too much and I have given you every information that happened to me in 1 year. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, comments, please do so and ask me what type of a content you want me to make. If you have any suggestion, I would love to hear that. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next.